Ever feel like you forgot to do something really important? Well, I'm not talking about taking out the trash or feeding the cat. I'm talking about your retirement plan. If you neglected or forgot to work on your retirement plan, don't feel alone. Millions of other Americans are in the same boat, and it's a problem. So we're going to talk about it today on Real Estate Minute. Hey everybody, welcome to Real Estate Minute. I'm your host, Paul Airy. If this is your first time here, welcome. And I want to invite you to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button below and the notification button. And we're going to be back here about every week with a new episode. So subscribe, hit the notification button, and you can get notified when the new episodes come out. And so for today, I want to talk about a subject most people probably don't want to talk about. And in a minute, you're going to understand why. I want to talk about retirement. It's something I talk about quite a bit, actually. I will be talking about it more on this show and on the podcast. Retirement is in some serious trouble right now. In the United States, we have a $4.3 trillion retirement savings deficit. That's a huge number. Somebody told me, why don't you round that down to 4 trillion? Well, here's why I'm not going to do that. That $0.3 trillion represents, that is $300 billion. And that's a huge number. I don't think we need to round that off. That gives us some perspective on the size of the problem. So, let me just throw out a couple of numbers here. Only 40% of Americans right now are spending time working on their retirement plan. That means 60% haven't done anything. And right now, 48% of Americans have less than $10,000 saved for retirement. Well, some of you might think, well, that means 52% are doing okay, right? Well, no, because that just means 40% have less than 10,000. The other 52%, it doesn't mean they have enough. It could mean they have more than 10,000, but that could be any number more than 10,000. 35% of women have zero retirement savings, and more than half of the baby boomers out there that are retiring at a very high rate right now are saying that they are going to rely on their Social Security income for their retirement income. Social Security checks only average about $1,300 to $1,400 a month. That's not a very good plan. But I want to stress one thing. The one word that has come up over and over again in what I just told you is savings. You cannot save your way to prosperity. It just doesn't work that way. Prosperity, wealth, it comes from, not from savings, it comes from income, from cash flow. So you cannot save your way to prosperity. And you cannot save your way to a comfortable retirement. Savings is not a safe way to retire. Now, what you need to think about, what I would like to suggest that you think about. Now, I'm not a financial planner, I'm not a financial advisor, but when the financial planners tell you to save $1 million to retire on, and then they tell you to take out 3.5% of that money every year to live on, people need to realize that's only $35,000 a year, and if you haven't paid taxes on that money, you're going to have to pay taxes on it once you take it out. So is that really enough for you to live on? And are you able, do you have the ability to save $1 million before you retire? That's a huge amount of money. If you're working a job with a salary and you make $100,000, $150,000 a year, it's going to be hard for you to get to $1 million in savings. So what I would suggest that you look at is of course, this is a show about commercial real estate, but I'm going to say you should look at some income producing real estate. Instead of putting that money in savings, put it into some property that's going to produce income. Here's why: because if you invest that same $1 million that you saved for your retirement and you buy a property that gives you an 8% return, and that is very doable. 8% or better is very doable in commercial real estate. That's an $80,000 a year income. That sounds a lot better to me than $35,000. Now, I'm not saying go out and save $1 million and then buy it. This is not the Dave Ramsey show. You don't want to save for 30 years and then go buy your real estate. You want to buy it now, pay the down payment, finance the rest. By the time you retire, have that property paid off. So what happens with real estate is you're not dipping into your principal like you are a savings account. You're not taking money out that is going to deplete your resources. And your cash flow starts from day one. When you buy a property, it starts right then, not 30 years from now when you retire. So think about that when you start funneling money into your savings account. I'm not saying don't have a savings account. You should have a savings account, but you know what? Put a cap on it. And anything you go over that cap, put into real estate. There's no reason for you to just keep saving and saving and have that money sitting there idle. Idle money doesn't really do anything for you, especially now when the interest rates are below 1%. You know, when my parents retired, they were being told, you know, put this money into savings, live off the interest. And, you know, they had much higher interest rates back then, 5 or 6%, 8%. And, you know, you could live off of that kind of money back then. Today, it's not possible. You can't do that. You can't live off of 0.8% return. It's just not going to work for you. So give that some consideration when you start planning for your retirement, if you ever do. And that's part of the problem right now. Most people are not planning for it. So I just want to encourage you to look at some commercial real estate investing. If you don't know how to do that, which most people don't, it's okay. There are resources out there for you to learn about it. You don't have to have an education. You don't have to have a college degree. You don't even have to have a high school diploma. Nobody cares what kind of education you have. Anyone can be a commercial real estate investor. You do have to have some money. The people that tell you you can get rich with no money down deals, that's total BS. You can't, it's not going to happen. Their deals are out there like that. You can get them, you can take advantage of them, but if you chase those deals all the time, you're going to miss out on a lot of other good deals where you need a cash down payment. So take your savings, buy some property, get some income going now, and learn about all the benefits of commercial real estate investing. There are a lot of them, and I think you'll like what you see. So that's it for this week. Keep coming back every week. We're going to have we'll have information on commercial real estate, how to invest in it. We'll talk about different property types. We'll talk about all kinds of things that deal with commercial real estate. So come back next week and I'll see you then.